Hi everybody, just Jessica. I'm going to start a series called a CRO Sales Training Series. We're going to call this one 101.1. CRO sales is the area of business development and sales that I've been in for the last 15 years, so I shall start logging what I know. Call this CRO Sales Training 101.1 because I've been there. Just Jessica. www.jessica-humphreys, that's HUMPHREYS.com. So the outline, I'll give you an outline for this module, 101.1. It's really basic, but no one really trained me on any of this, and I certainly didn't know any of this on day one. So here we go. First question that we're going to answer in this module will be, what is a CRO? Number two, talk about the different types of CROs briefly. What market do CROs serve? Who regulates their existence? And what does the sales environment look like working for one? First of all, what is a CRO? CRO stands for Contract Research Organization. This is not to be confused with a CMO, which is a contract manufacturing organization. CROs are companies for hire. They provide some kind of research and development related services to a very diverse marketplace, and we'll talk about those. Each CRO employs many scientific and highly technical experts. CROs offer laboratory-based services and testing, as well as animal and human subject-based testing. CROs are service-based organizations. My personal rant, if you will. The organization, the contract research organization out there that learns how to be efficient, communicate clearly and punctually to their clients on a regular basis, as well as issuing their draft and final reports on time, as well as giving top-notch customer service, that company will rise to the top, because overwhelmingly these are the hangups you find within these companies. It's a service-based organization, and certain standards really are expected by customers. So when certain companies figure this out, they truly are gonna rise to the top of their marketplace. Different types of CROs. Contract research covers many millions and millions and millions of dollars of development costs that are related to getting medicines, vaccines, chemicals, agrochemicals, food additives, and even personal care products to market. There are three main areas that CROs cover when it comes to the research and development process. It sort of covers all of these things with a massive umbrella. That's the preclinical or non-clinical development and testing. This includes anything that's not in humans. Preclinical to me implies pre-IND, which is pre-human, but it's often used. But there are many non-human studies that are still conducted throughout clinical development. So the word preclinical, in my opinion, is a little bit of a misnomer. Non-clinical would technically be more accurate. So you'll find these words used interchangeably sometimes, or used differently depending on who's using them. So first area, preclinical or non-clinical development and testing. Second area being clinical development testing, meaning human testing and development. And then there's the bioanalytical analysis that really is an expertise very much of its own. And that ranges anywhere from analytical chemistry through immunology. Other companies out there use the CRO label. They call themselves a CRO, but honestly, I think they confuse the issue a little bit and freely use this label often. So for our purposes today, we'll stick with the companies or the categories as I've outlined here. The market that CROs serve, it's as I said, it's very diverse. It's not likely that any one CRO would specialize in all these areas, but and I'd probably be skeptical of anyone that claims that they're an expert in all of these areas, because CROs, there's a lot of small and medium-sized ones out there that tend to have their own areas of expertise. There are a few very large ones, but they're far and in between. So first of all, the first group of companies that the CROs serve, if you will, are the drug companies. And I say drug companies, drug as defined by the FDA, which means a small molecule drug with a defined chemical structure. So this is very heavy on the chemistry world of things versus biology, if you will. The second group of companies that CROs serve are biologics companies. These are large molecules, biological-based medicines such as proteins, antibodies, vaccines, blood products, stem cells, and gene therapies. The third market the CROs serve includes chemical companies. This is anything from disinfectants to chlorine gas. There are agrochemical companies also. These include pesticides and biopesticides. Fifth, we have food additives and preservative companies that specialize in anything, whether it's preservatives, whether it's coloring, whether it's homogenizing agents, thickening agents, any of these different things that are not food and getting added to food must be tested. Then we have personal care products. This ranges anything from deodorant to hairspray to suntan lotion. Some of these things manage to make it to the market without a lot of this testing sometimes being done because the original formulations were tested. So we have different derivatives that get tested, including your spray-on suntan lotions and all different forms that these personal care products come in. Who regulates the conduct of a contract research organization? Obviously, there's a lot of concern out there when it comes to animal welfare, human welfare when it comes to working with chemicals and infectious agents, and then, of course, conducting clinical research on human subjects. So this is a highly regulated industry. There are a ton of regulating bodies. I'm going to list the top 9 that I have on my list here. There probably are a few I've missed, and depending on the type of study you're doing, in what area you're doing that, there definitely are going to be other organizations involved. And this is just focusing on work done in the U.S. primarily. There are obviously tons of international organizations out of all the different countries out there. So depending on the types of studies that are being done, whether there are live animals involved, whether there are human subjects involved, it will depend on sometimes which of these regulating bodies are more or less involved. So first and foremost, we have the FDA because they're the ones that define the entire process for the development of drugs, vaccines, biologics, for their development, for their testing to determine their safety, their efficacy, and then their subsequent approval. Secondarily, we have the USDA, which is all about the animal use, animal transport, housing, and welfare of animals. The EPA defines the process of all chemical development, but would also be concerned about any waste generated by a CRO. AAALAC is about animal care, process, and procedures. The CDC would be involved with anything remotely infectious. The DEA would be involved for any controlled substances, including pain care and anesthesias and different things that might be used. OLAL is an NIH-issued assurance. Again, it's focused on animal welfare. The ICH is a group of international guidelines that hopefully most CROs are working in accordance with. IACUC is more of an internal regulation or internal authority, and again, it's about animal care and use, and it's an ethics committee. And so for animals, preclinical, non-clinical programs, you're talking IACUC. For humans and clinical studies, you're talking an IRB. Depending on the type of studies that you're done, and infectious agents or possibly biodefense weaponry agents and things of that nature, you might even be regulated and involved with the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security. What does the sales environment look like in a contract research organization? I joke, yeah, it's completely ADHD, but personally, I kind of like that. I get bored easily. I'm smart. I like to learn things, and I can keep up. So, some of the early development work when you're talking about drugs and vaccines and chemicals and all of it, some of the early stuff is small, it's piecemeal, and it's smaller dollars, more transactional, and more turnkey type of sales opportunities. But overwhelmingly, especially in the drug development world of things, this is a long, labor-intensive, highly technical, time-consuming process to get these things tested and developed and to actually even get them to clinical studies, never mind to market. So this is a long sales cycle. It can range anywhere from 6 to 12 to 15 months. If you're doing government contracts or working with folks that are big prime contractors for the government, you're talking 1, 2, 3 years out on occasion for these sales opportunities to come full circle. So when you talk about a consultative sell, this is the epitome of that. Every time you pick up the phone, you're going to have a different person on there you're going to have a different conversation with someone that has something that's unique to them. And it's going to be a unique drug, a unique chemical, and at the very least, it's going to be their unique and proprietary technology of developing what it is they're doing. This diversity keeps it interesting and intellectually stimulating, but it also makes for a steep learning curve for sales reps in this highly specialized field of sales. The learning never stops, but there is definitely quite a period of time until a really integrated type of understanding happens and until that really consultative type sell can truly follow. I did this for so many years. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm damn knowledgeable about a lot of it, and I'm ready to teach somebody else. If you think I could be get your sales reps up to speed more quickly, or even work a trade show booth for you or with your other sales reps for some training and support, give me a call. I'd be happy to talk with you by phone to see if you think we'd be a good fit, and maybe not, maybe so. So give me a call. I can be reached at 717-668-3133. Leave me a message with your phone number, email address, and the best time for discussion. If you don't get me, I am personally on Eastern Time. You can also email me to arrange a time to talk at jessica@humphreys.com. That's Jessica at Jessica, Jessica, Humphreys, HUMPHREYS.com. Check out more about me as well as my blog at www.jessica-humphreys.com. Thanks. Bye-bye.